Good morning, everybody. How is everybody this Sunday morning? Welcome to what I call Coffee and a Card. I go live on Sunday mornings. My name is Julia Green. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in the northwest corner of Connecticut, where it is kind of cool and rainy today. Um, but let me know if this is your first time watching, or where you're watching from, or say hi or whatever out there. So I know that I'm not talking to myself. All right, guys. So this morning, those of you guys have been following me know that this is usually pretty quick. I don't dilly-dally too much, but I try to just go along kind of quick. So I do sell my handmade cards in a couple of different locations here in the area. And something that I don't think I've ever mentioned to you guys about doing that is you want to make sure that you follow what we call our angel policy. And basically what that is that you have to put that the images and the stuff that you're using is copyrighted Stampin' Up! So for right now in the new catalog, the angel policy stamp, they always have one, is this one right here, stamped with love, and because it has the copyright Stampin' Up! In there. So you want to make sure that's on your card somewhere if you're selling it. Sometimes, like the ones that I'm doing today, have I'll show you. I'm going to stamp one in the back, but this first one has we're using United Navy as the as the card base. So for that one, I have a business card, and I would stamp the copyright on the business card, or sometimes I kind of hide it in the images or something somewhere. But that's just important that you know. Stamped with love. I love this. I like this stamp set a lot. So anyway, Father's Day. So I have had phone calls or text messages or emails or whatever from both the places that I sell my cards, that said, "Hey, we need some new cards and we have checks for you." So, so one of the places I went to yesterday, and gathered my check, and she said, we don't forget Father's Day. She said, masculine cards, and for me, masculine cards are always kind of a little bit of I don't know. I know if they're not one I always go to. You know me, I like my flowers, so that's usually what I go to. So this morning, I decided, and I've got a sticky spot on my table here. This morning, I decided to do Father's Day cards. So we're going to start with this one right here. And I put the little bobber on the inside. My grandfather used to love to go fishing, and he used to take us fishing with him when I was a kid. So I do have some fond memories of fishing. I had an aunt who used to love to, an aunt and an uncle who used to love to take us as kids go fishing as well. So I have lots of good memories of sitting along little river banks, right here in the northwest corner and fishing. And my aunt, she got like a record rainbow trout at one time and had it mounted, and it's in my daughter's living room. So I have some really good memories of that. So I went through the Meandering Meadows paper, and I found this one that reminded me a lot of sitting along the little river banks around here and fishing with my grandfather. So we're going to make that one first. All right, so let's see. So we're using the Gone Fishing stamp set because it's got that great Happy Father's Day in there. It also has a cute little happy retirement. So glad you're my dad. So you could put that on the outside and then the Happy Father's Day inside. It's also got a cute little congrats in here. But I really like this one here that says, "Good things come to those who wait." So I like that sentiment a lot. And then it's got all your pieces and parts to build your fishing lures. And then it also has where you can make like a little tackle box on the front of your card. It's got where you can do like a little bit of a river thing with the dies. You can make it so it looks like the fish is coming up out of the waters. It's got the little rings. So it's got lots of potential. It also had a matching DSP, but that did not carry over, I don't believe. I'm still having issues trying to figure out what carried over and what didn't. It's just an issue for me. I'm sure there's probably an easier way than the way I do it, which, you know me, sometimes I like to make things difficult for myself. Not really sure why, but sometimes I do. All right. So this is a 6x6 DSP, so we need to cut this down. Whoops, and I just dropped my cutter on the floor. Hang on, let me get my cutter. I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut out my little things for my fishing lure that I'm putting on the front of my card. So I'm going to cut this out at 4. So I turned the paper this way because I wanted to make sure that I got the little brook in there. And then I did it this way to do the 5 1/4 because, again, I wanted to make sure that I got the little brook in there. So, good morning, Linda. Good morning, Sandy. Hi, Patricia. How is everybody this morning? Hopefully you had a really good night's sleep. I have not had my sleep yet. I'm headed that way when I get done making you guys a fun little card here. All right, so I decided to go with Night of Navy and then Garden Green. And the Garden Green is 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. And then this is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to go ahead and layer those right on. All right. So I was pretty excited yesterday to get the phone calls from, or the emails from the one place. She was very excited with how many of my cards had sold in the last month. I do it on commission. So it is something that if you are, you know, have a bunch of cards and you want to look around and see if someone will sell them in their store, that is an option. All right, so let's see. Night of Navy. We're going to do the Happy Father's Day. Now this just fits on here, so you got to really kind of pay attention. There we go. Now the I used the nested dies, nested essential dies, for my label for my Happy Father's Day. I'm gonna put that over there. All right, and I'm gonna stamp my bobber on the inside here before I put it down. I actually stamped that one after I put it down, but now that I'm on, you know, live, I'd end up messing it up if I did it that way while I'm trying to be live. All right, and I used basic gray for the solid part of the bobber, and I just put it like that. And then it's got the cute little, so that you can make the bottom part of the bobber. And I always remember our bobbers being red and white. I don't know. I think it was so you could see them. I think the red is on there so that you can see them when you're... I just remember my grandfather having this big old tackle box with lots of lures and stuff in it. But my Aunt Nancy, she used to swear by earthworms. That's always what she used to use. So I remember her going out and looking for earthworms on days like today and putting them in dirt for when she'd go fishing. All right, so now I have my basic gray Stampin' Right marker, and I just felt like my like it needed something. It just didn't. It looked kind of funny just sitting there wide open. So I just did like a one of those, and you can do it either way. Okay. And then we're going to take that, we'll put a little adhesive on it. We'll put that on the inside. Now this is 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to go on the inside of my card because I used Night of Navy as the card base, and so obviously you can't write on Night of Navy. So, all right, so there you have it. And then now we're just going to take... So I stamped the hook with the lure on it. I stamped that in the basic gray. This is another little additive like flower here that I did in, I had a piece over there. Calypso Coral. I just used a little. So here you go. So the whole thing about when is a piece of cardstock or whatever too small to keep? Well, I used a real small piece that I had over there. I cut that out with it. So, so I don't know if there is such a thing as too small of a piece to keep. So I'm going to just put a little bit of our liquid glue on there. It is, it does have a really nice, it's embossed and cut out, so it has a little bit of dimension. Okay. Then I just remember that a lot of my grandfather's lures and stuff, and I remember these things vividly. And cuts out in two pieces. So it cuts this out, and then it cuts this out, and I think you can do like that little tag on there. But I wanted something a little shiny because I remember a lot of my grandfather's lures always had something shiny on them. I think that's what catches the fish's eye, you know, is something a little shiny. And I've used, I'm not sure if this paper is online or if it carried over in the catalog, but this is that copper paper from last year. And where's that Sandy when I need her? Because she always remembers all the names of all these things. But you can see it's got the copper. It also came with the patinaed copper paper. So, so I cut those out. I'm gonna save those for another card. I just want this little guy right here. So we're just gonna put a little dot of glue on there, and then try to pick him up and put him on here without getting. So I'm just putting him right at the top here, like that. I'll hold it down for a few seconds, and there you go. Now I'm using our basic baker's twine. This comes with, it has the gray, it has white, black, crumb cake in there. That did carry over into the catalog. I'm just gonna, this is the gray or smoky slate. It's a light gray, so I'm assuming it's the smoky slate. And I'm just going to tie myself a little bow. And then, for some reason, I got a bigger loop on one side than the other. And then I'm just going to cut my tails off where I want them. And then I'm going to take a glue dot. And I have a big long tail on my glue dot paper here. Let's get rid of that out of the way. And there's a glue dot right there. So I'm going to pick up that glue dot with my bow. And I'm going to put that right up here at the top of my hook and lure. Okay. Then I'm going to take another glue dot. Well, let's do this first. Let's put the thing on here. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Hi, Sandy. Now we have the Asian jumping worms. Yeah, I don't ever remember them things when I was little, that's for sure, but they are kind of weird. My daughter, when we're gardening, if she finds them, she loves to throw them at me because they move like a snake, and I am not a big fan of snakes, so she thinks it's funny to watch me wig out. So I actually have them here in one of my gardens, and they do really, I've had to really put more nutrients back into the garden. I've really had to put some compost and stuff, and the scary thing is, I think, like, if you cut them or whatever, they just re-heal and multiply themselves, which is really kind of creepy. I did a talk last weekend at the library here with my master gardener, and we got talking about invasive things, whether it be invasive bugs, whether it be invasive plants, whatever is invasive, unfortunately, goes gangbusters in any kind of weather or whatever. So it's really kind of like they accommodate to whatever environment, so which is really pretty scary. But unfortunately, those Asian jumping worms, they destroy the top layers of the soil where a lot of our plants get their nutrients and stuff from. So in the garden where I know I have them, and I'm pretty sure they came in either soil or mulch. And that's another thing I mentioned at my talk last week, was that really know where you're sourcing your things from, whether it be your mulch, your plants, or whatever. Pay close attention to what you're bringing in. All right, so I have my envelope, and I am going to stamp, I think, something on my envelope. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put on my envelope, but maybe the fish. What do you think? How about if we do, let's grab my inks back here. Let's grab my inks. So I'm going to put a little bit of water, what looks like the water down here at the top, with my Night of Navy. And then I'm going to grab the gray. Can't go wrong with basic gray. And I think I'm going to grab the fish. And the fish is two-stepper. And you know what? For the inside of the fish, where is the inside of the fish? Here it is. I'm going to do gray, and I'm going to grab wild wheat. Because to me, that would look like a trout. All right, so let's do the fish first. Let's pick it up here with my block. And I'm going to have him kind of going at an angle. So let's have him going like he's coming up out of the water. I kind of think this is a salmon. I don't know. I don't know my fish that well, so for me, he's going to be, well, a salmon would also be, I believe, the color of wild wheat as well. So, all right, let's grab my wild wheat. Oops. And let's grab my body. I'm going to ink that up. We're going to come right back in here and line it up and give them a little bit of color. Perfect. All right. And there you have it. So there's the outside of my envelope. Very fun. So there you go. Nice little Father's Day card. Okay. And I have another one for you. This one's real quick too. Let me just clean up my spot here. Put my wild wheat away. I'm going to set that over there because I don't need that for this one. But let's see what we got here. I do need the Happy Father's Day, but I have that here. All right, so does anybody have hunters in their life out there? My grandfather was also a hunter. So this paper comes from the Winter Meadow, again with the meadows, DSP, Designer Series paper. I'm not sure if that's online, but I do know it's current. So I think it's online. So make sure you check out the online thing, because the online thing is growing by leaps and bounds. So it's really important that if you're looking for something, you go to the online part of my store. Because like I said, it is growing, and there's going to be more releases on the online store coming here. We get to see them, I believe, in June. You guys will get to see them in July. And so that'll be just before the new catalog. So pretty much there's something coming out like almost like every month, it seems like, which is pretty kind of fun. The bunch of the demonstrators, 300 plus demonstrators were that had earned the incentive trip were in Mexico for the last week, and they got to see some of the stuff that is coming our way. All right, so again, I've cut this at 4, and now I'm going to put it in because I want the deer image. So I'm going to make sure that the deer image makes it. So I'm going to put that at 5 1/4. All right, I'm going to save that one. I'm making 2 because I am going to take these probably to the store. Because Father's Day, you know, is coming up. I might use a couple for my own personal use. I'm not really sure. I do have a brother who is a father, and I probably will send him a card. I do still have a father-in-law. Unfortunately, my dad passed away, and I was just looking the other day. My dad's been gone 14 years, and I don't know. It's really funny. You need to make those memories. I think it's really important because I have really good, vivid memories of my dad, and it just doesn't seem, when you make those good memories, it doesn't seem like they've been gone so long. So I think that's important. My grandfather, I'm not sure. I'd have to look that one up, how long he's been gone, but I do have some awesome memories of him, and I have been going through old pictures. Whoops, a little crooked there. So those of you guys know that Creative Memories, or Close to My Heart, not Creative Memories, sorry, Close to My Heart, is going out of business, and Stampin' Up! Has offered the makers over there, they call themselves makers, they have been offered to come join us, and some of them have. And Stampin' Up! Is telling us that they are going to be bringing out some more scrapbooking products. And I'm pretty excited about that because I have been going through old pictures and I would like to really work on my scrapbooks. So, more to come on that. Okay, so. All right, so now you have this really cool card base with the deer and, all right, so there's my card bases. Now, using those same nested essential dies, I decided to cut out the tag shape, and this time we're gonna layer it over top of with this one. So before we do that, why don't we grab my black ink. All right, and I need to clean my Happy Father's Day. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. All right. Let's grab the black ink. Now, let's see, make sure we get these right side up. Happy Father's Day. One, two. How many of you guys, when you're making cards, make more than one at a time when you're working on them? I used to all the time, but I've gotten so I don't, which is why my card stash does not build up as much as it used to. So you're going to want to make sure, sometimes the black ink takes a minute to dry, so you're just going to want to make sure that's dry. Otherwise you'll get smudgies. None of us like smudgies. All right, so I'm going to layer this over top. I want the black to hang out at the top, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to do this one. It almost looks like it's still wet, but I'm hoping not. We're going to put this one, same thing. A little bit hanging out. All right, now I'm going to grab that twine. And I don't know if I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the gray and the white together. So I'm going to grab what looks like a good piece to go across. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive up across the top here. Going to lay this across like that so it attaches itself. Bring it around. And I'm going to tie myself a little knot in the front here. Just like that. Now I'm going to take and cut these where I want them. Grab my dimensionals. I am going to put a dimensional over where I've got the adhesive. A is a little bit of a reinforcement for that twine, and B so it lays the way I want it to. And we're going to put that right up here in this corner, opposite the deer. Like it. I like the way this one came out. And I just happened to be looking through and realized that this, when I was going through my stash yesterday and trying to organize things, I realized that this paper was still current, and I remember there being the deer in here. So I was like, perfect for Father's Day. So, all right, let's see if I can do this one. Tie a knot. I used to on occasion. Yeah, I used to do it all the time, Deb, and then I had like a really good stash going, and I have to tell you, my stash is getting down there, which is very exciting. It's very exciting to, and the girl that, the one store that I have my cards in, she's like, your cards are gorgeous, and she's like, and your prices are so reasonable. And I said, well, my whole thing is I'm not in it to make $1 million. I just want, I like to, it's a good way to advertise the Stampin' Up! Product. But it's, I enjoy doing it. So as you all know, I am a card maker, but I also like to send cards. So I probably don't send as many as I probably should, but I do like to send cards. All right, so now I'll probably look for some bling, maybe some dots to put on that. I'm not really sure. I actually think it looks kind of cool just the way it is. But what I wanted to do was do something on the inside and do something on the envelope. So I went looking through my stash. And Graceful Deer has carried over. I haven't used this one yet. This was in, I think, last year's mini. Now, this is a background stamp, so I'd have to dig out my big block, okay? And I have, as you can see, I haven't even mounted this. But this is a background stamp. So what I probably would do is I would probably just try to ink this guy right here and put him on the envelope, okay? Which would be kind of cool because he almost matches this guy here, all right? And then I also picked up Grassy Grove because Grassy Grove carried over. And if you wanted to, you could do the female deer, the doe, or I thought about maybe doing the trees with the Grassy Grove to decorate either the inside or my envelope. So I'm not going to do that this morning because I'm running out of time. But that is something to keep in mind. And both of these did carry over. And Grassy Grove has the really cool die set that goes with it that looks like trees and stuff, which is really cool. And then there's another new one that came out that kind of goes with this as well. And then the Graceful Deer. I really like the Graceful Deer. Be really pretty for Christmas cards. All right, so, and I think I am going to do my Christmas in July this year, and I'm really gonna pump it up, I think. I'm kind of excited about that. All right, so there's my Father's Day card there. And then we have this great one here. So really cool, fun little Father's Day cards. We've got our trout or salmon or whatever he is. So there you go. There you have it. So let's see. What else do I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, if you're looking for masculine and you are want to do something quick, this month's Paper Pumpkin, which is good till May 10th, which is one day this week. Don't ask. Oh, maybe it's next Saturday. Is it next Saturday? I don't know. What's today? Today is the 5th. So yeah, next Saturday, I think, is the 11th. So you have till next Friday or Saturday anyway. And so these are masculine. These look like they could be used for masculine. It says perfect for Father's Day and more. So that would be great if you want to do a kit type of thing. If you're also looking to do some more masculine cards, my virtual class this month is done with the total Trusty Tools set. So if that's something that you're interested in, by all means, please sign up for that class. There's more information about that on my website, so you can always visit my website and check out classes or anything that I have going on. I am going to do a mystery card night on Wednesday this week. I just haven't had time to put it on. So be looking for that too. We'll do mystery card night where I give you a list of supplies. You bring your supplies along, and we get together right here on Facebook Live, and we make cards with the supplies that you brought. Okay? New in colors, really fun. If you really like the new in colors and you want to add them to your collection, I can't tell you a better way to do it than to do the starter kit. You are going to get an extra $82 worth of the in color stuff in your kit, and then you also get to pick $125 worth of stuff to go along with that, and you pay $99. So you're going to get $207 worth of stuff for $99. So everything's half price. What a way to go. So good way to add to your collection, and I would love to have you on my Moonstruck Stampers team. If you need a new catalog, let me know. I do have some. Naomi, yours is still riding around in my truck because I just don't get to Torrington. If I don't look like I'm gonna get to Torrington this week, I'm gonna stick it in the mail to you because you've waited long enough and you've been very patient. All right. I think that's it. There's also an add-on to this month's paper pumpkin. There's the number right there, and that's $12 if you want to add on this little die set that goes with this month's paper pumpkin. All right. As always, I'm always looking for hostesses to host their own experience with me. We can just get together if you want, just a couple of us. We can go out to lunch. I can meet with your church group. We can do online, whatever you want. I am willing to accommodate you. So keep that in mind. And thanks again for watching me this fun Sunday morning. Hopefully you have a great week. Come on back on Friday. This week's Friday will be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But as always, you can always watch the replay. If the little live thing isn't red up in the corner, then you know you're watching the replay. But by all means, please watch my replays. And I also, most of the time, not all the time, I've been having some issues, but most of the time I post my videos to YouTube as well. So you could always catch them on YouTube if that's something you are on and want to check me out on YouTube. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for stopping in this morning, and hopefully we will all be stamping together soon. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great one.